Hello everyone, and in this video I'm going to show you how to write an SEO optimized blog post in a very short space of time. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Seo, and as I did mention, I'm going to show you how to create an SEO optimized blog post. I'm just going to show you my brief process that I go through in order to get it done as quickly as possible, but also as efficiently and effectively as possible. Alright, so if you're new to my channel, like always, please can you give this video a like if you do find it of value, and hit the subscribe button if you want to be notified of upcoming videos just like this one. Alright, let's get started. So my go-to tool, or go-to canvas rather, for writing my SEO optimized blog posts is Google Docs. It is available on Windows and obviously as well as on all Apple iOS products. So the reason why I use Google Docs is the functionality it has to add add-ons. So the add-on that I like to add to my blog post is called GDoc SEO Assistant. You can just click on add-ons and you can click Get add-ons and just search for GDoc SEO Assistant. This will basically give you real-time tracking of your blog posts and give you recommendations on the side in order to optimize it. So you can enter your target keyword and hit the blue button and get started. So whilst you're typing out, you can constantly look on the side for improvement to optimize your blog post. Alright, let's move on. So the most important place to start with any blog post is obviously your keyword research. I'm sure you've heard this many times before, and it's a very vital part. Otherwise you can write a long, lengthy, detailed blog post, but it's not going to rank anywhere near in Google because people aren't actually searching for these keywords. What I do advise when starting out writing your blog post, if you are new to the blog posting world, you want to be researching keywords that are competitive but don't have a lot of traffic going towards those keywords, so you can actually be able to rank for them. And a good way to do this is using long tail keywords. And what is a long tail keyword? Let me just give you a brief example. A short tail would be SEO blog post, but a long tail keyword would be SEO blog post done quickly. You know what I mean? So it's just adding a few words onto the end relative to people's search results. So if you don't have any cash and you're wanting to start from free, let's just use an example here. You can say, what running shoes should I buy? Say you wanted to rank for these, but at the end of the day you are going to get outranked by a lot of big companies who are actually selling running shoes. So hit the space bar, and as you can see, you are added quite a few more options. So let's say for flat feet. Now that is a prime example of a long tail keyword that you want to ideally rank for. So what you want to go ahead and do is open the first couple of articles in a new tab. The reason for this is you want to give a quick examine of why are these people appearing on page 1 of Google. What are they doing right? So you can basically not copy them, but try and replicate areas they are also doing well. So the first part you want to look at is how many words are in an article. So what I do advise is you open the top 10 current articles, you look at all the words on the site, and you get an average of all those. So what I've already gone ahead and done is I've put this post into a word counter. There are tons of word counters online. I use wordcounter.io, and I can see that this is 2,732 words. So I'm going to be trying to write an article slightly bit more than that. I think 3,000 words will be perfectly in line, and it should be ideal for ranking page 1 in Google, obviously if all my other factors are taken into account. Back to keyword research, guys. As I said, that is one way to do your keywords of what people are searching for, but what I highly recommend is that you do get a tool and you actually do learn keyword research before going forward into your blog posting career. The tool that I like to use is SEMrush. It is a great SEO tool. It comes with a lot of out-the-box features like competitor analysis, keyword research. You can do an SEO audit on your whole entire website, so you can find off-site and on-site technical issues, and it also displays all backlinking opportunities that you do have. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below where you can actually do a free course by Greg Gifford. He's one of the SEMrush guys, and he's part of the SEMrush Academy. I'm going to leave a link to that free course that you can do in order to upskill your keyword research knowledge. If you are happy with SEMrush and you are wanting to maybe give it a purchase, please click the link in my description. It is an affiliate link. I'm going to show you how to do this entire blog post and show you my structure. And if you are keen to make that purchase, please show me some love so it's a win-win for the both of us. Alright, so the length of the article has been taken care of. So let's go back to the article, and we also want to go ahead and look for what is working for these people online. What I like to do is I downloaded a Chrome extension called Headings Map, and when I click the Headings Map icon, doesn't seem to be working on this side. Let me try another one. There we go. It opens up the structure and it shows all the H1s of all the H1s, H2s, and H3s. So your H1 is your heading 1, 2, and 3, and so forth. Ideally, you only want to have one H1 per page. As you can see, this is just one H1 per page, and the structure is it goes down to H2 and it goes down to straight H3. So to use an example where H2 and H3 is used, let me say I am setting up a website and I want to integrate payment methods on my site. And I want to integrate Stripe as a payment method. So writing an ideal blog post about that, what I would do is I would say, let's actually use this for an example. This is one of my blog posts that could do with a few more H3s to go a bit more in detail. So as you can see, my blog post H1 is how to become a front-end developer for beginners. And then I have my introduction and a bunch of H2s. But what I could do is I'm going front-end versus back-end. I'm explaining what those are. This is a H2. What I could do is have a H3 under this saying what is front-end versus back-end and what is back-end, and go in depth into that. So the more in detail you go, Google absolutely loves that. So I highly recommend that you get your heading structure right. So going back to the heading structure, what you want to go ahead and do is we've done our keyword research. That's done for us. You've got your keywords, and then the next thing you want to do is sort out your headings for the entire page. So we've got our H1, which is going to be our main keywords we want to rank for, or the long tail keywords, and then you want to get the rest of your structure for your whole entire website. So when you have all your headings, so like these, for example, front end versus back end, where to start in becoming a front end developer for beginners, the first things to do in order to write this blog post quickly is list your headings. So then you can just come back later and fulfill the content under that. You don't have to think of what the upcoming paragraph is going to be about. Alright, moving on to the introduction. So the introduction is a very important part. On top of after your main H1, you want to have your intro. You can have an image under your main H1, by the way. That is what a lot of people do. Your introduction, the main purpose of your introduction is to let users know by reading this article or reading this blog post, how are they going to benefit the most from reading this, and what are they going to get out of this. You want to hook them in so they read until the very, very end. Otherwise, if you have a boring introduction, a lot of users are just going to be on your page for like a second or two and leave right away. You want to hook them in to show them that, look, you have landed on my blog post for a reason, and this is what I'm going to give you. The next point I want to cover is your CTAs, or your call to action on your website. If you're creating a blog post with the sole purpose of maybe selling something to the blog post, like an affiliate product, I do recommend, or getting someone to sign up to a newsletter as an example, I do recommend you put those main call to actions towards the top of your blog post. Because think about it, the user can read your whole entire blog post, get value out of it, but towards the end they might leave if your CTAs are all at the bottom. So have your buttons or your call to actions towards the top. Right, this brings me to the next point, is your answer paragraph. So this is something I recently actually learned about, and it's quite interesting. An answer paragraph, I'm sure you've seen it in the Google search results. It's a paragraph just like this one. So here is your search term. Can you download Netflix? And you'll often see a bolded out feature as the first result which you read. It appears above all other search results and is generally the first one you read. So you want to give a good answer paragraph which answers the question you have in your H1. Ideally, you want to make this text bold. That is what a lot of people do recommend. You bold this text. And the main purpose of your answer paragraph is a concise and efficient way to answer the question you're asking in your H1. Don't blabber on for too long. Make it to 45 sentences that summarizes your entire article. Another good tip that I have for you of speeding up your blog writing is if you click on Tools and you click on Voice Typing, you can see this, and you click the voice, you can actually speak, and Google will actually put this onto your page whilst you are talking, which is absolutely amazing. Let me show you an example. So let me click here. It is important to do your keyword research effectively before starting a blog post. There we go. As you can see, it types it perfectly. Oh, it's actually still typing it. I better stop that. So that is an awesome way to write your blog post, guys. It speeds up the process and it gets it done very, very quickly. Please do make sure, however, to go through your blog post and look for grammatical or other areas that you can improve on, like running Grammarly on your website to make sure there are no spelling or grammatical errors. Okay, after you've got all your headings on your website, you want to go for your content in all these headings. And what you want to do is slowly disperse your keywords throughout your article. So keyword research is vitally important, guys, and I can't stress that enough. And you want to go ahead and include that the amount of times you include your keyword throughout your article is relative to how long your blog post actually is. So if you're writing like a 3,000 word blog post, you're not going to have one or two keywords in. That just doesn't make sense. I'm going to show you in a sec how this is taken care of. So that's bringing me to my next point, guys, is you need to be able to implement your keywords in a way that's very readable to your audience. Like if I have my keywords as how to become a front-end developer for beginners, here you can see my first sentence. I'm putting it in the first line. How to become a front-end developer for beginners was a question I wish I had the answer to when I started, and so on and so forth. You want to have your keywords in the first paragraph. That is something I highly recommend. But also throughout your article, you want to disperse it in a way you can actually rearrange these words in a way that is actually very easy for your audience or easy for your viewers to read. So something that's very, very natural. Google is, back in the day, you could stuff keywords in and have them right throughout your blog post. But Google has become a lot smarter and will definitely penalize you if they notice keyword stuffing and you're putting it in towards your blog post and it's just not making sense in the sentence at all. The next the next point I want to bring us to is called LSR. So this is known as Lantic Semantic Indexing. So that sounds very, very complicated, but I just want to give you an example of what it is. A good example is the company Apple. So back in the day, you could, as I said, stuff your keywords throughout a blog post, and Google would actually rank you if they found it sufficiently enough throughout your blog post. But it didn't know exactly what your blog post was about. So think of the company of Apple. They could write a blog post, but are they a fruit or are they a company? I know that sounds like a stupid example, but you would have keywords throughout your article which actually gives Google the answer to what type of company you are. So Apple will write a blog post and they will have things like iPhone, iPads, iPods and things like that in their article, and Google will say, okay, this is Apple, the company. It's not speaking about a Granny Smith apple or anything like that. So I hope you know where I'm getting with this. So how to become a front-end developer for beginners? For those who don't know, that is basically coding. So I would have coding relative keywords throughout my article, like JavaScript and HTML, so Google can actually know, look here, I'm speaking about coding. That's vitally important, guys, and like always, please filter them in naturally throughout your article. So once you have come over to finished your SEO optimized blog post and you've covered all sections, make sure to include a conclusion at the end of your article, just thanking the people for reading your post and letting them know maybe another call to action like subscribing to a newsletter, so on and so forth, or joining a Facebook group. And then what you could also implement is now copying this all over to your WordPress blog. So here I am inside my WordPress backend. I've pasted everything in, and what I have gone ahead and done is installed the Yoast SEO plugin. This is a very important plugin to install on a WordPress site, guys, because this gives you the exact things you need to improve on from an SEO point of view that Google will absolutely lap up and potentially put you towards the top of the search rankings. So if I open this up, this is my SEO analysis. I've got the little smiley green face and everything is completely fine. I've got one problem, the key phrase is not in the subheading. So this is basically saying that these words don't naturally appear in all my other H2s down at the bottom. I've got outbound links on my page. I've got internal links on my page. Internal links are vitally important, guys. You want to be linking back to other articles on your website, so your users can constantly stay on your website. And outbound links is basically referencing, so if there was a company called beginners.com, just as an example, I would click here, I'd put in the URL called beginners.com. I would open it in a new tab, guys, if it is an outbound link, because then again, I want users to stay on my website. And what I want to go ahead and do is add a no follow. No follow versus follow, guys. If you have internal links on your site, you want to add follow. This is basically telling the Google spiders or the Google bots that yes, you may go ahead and crawl my site and actually follow me through my user journey. But if you add a no follow link, that is to an outbound link. You're basically telling Google, don't try and track my journey or my analytics. This is an outbound link. So that's very, very easy to add in WordPress as well. This brings me to my next point, guys. If you're wanting to optimize a blog post, what I do advise, it's not a necessity, but you add a plugin called Table of Contents to WordPress. I've recently removed it from my WordPress post just due to a layout issue, but it's basically a table of contents towards the top, and you can actually click and navigate to various sections. The plugin's name is Table of Contents, guys. And there's also another awesome plugin called Scriptless Social Sharing, which gives you these cool little sharing buttons towards the top of your site, and if I'm not mistaken, towards the bottom of your site as well. So all your viewers can share to the relative social media platforms, which is really, really cool. So guys, you've written your awesome blog post. It hasn't taken you long, and the last step is actually linking your WordPress website to your to the Google Search Console and to Google Analytics. So you can actually view where your viewers are coming from, what countries they're coming from, what devices they're on. And the Google Search Console, guys, is really, really awesome. You can see your traffic on it. You can ask Google to index your blog post. On that, after you've written your blog post, it's important to take your URL, go into the Google Search Console, and then click the URL inspection button and request indexing for it. Google does take a while to index it, so you want to force Google to index it. This can take a while, guys. I wrote a blog post, I think a week and a half ago, and Google still haven't indexed it, so please be patient with the results. And if you carry on requesting the index from Google, they're not going to speed up the process. Believe me, I have tried. So definitely after you created your blog post, you need to go ahead and add it to Google, otherwise it's not going to appear in the search results, guys. What else do I have for you guys? I hope you guys found this of value and you are enjoying this. I found the reason why I created this video is because it took me weeks and weeks to create one blog post, and I had to find a formula where I can actually speed things up. So to summarize, guys, keyword research, vitally important, create your headings, and naturally filter in your content throughout. Don't forget, that's one thing I did forget out. You want to be adding images, guys, to break up the view of the reader. If you basically have long text, users really going to get uninterested quickly and leave your website. So make sure you have images dispersed throughout. On your images, for SEO purposes, you also want to go ahead and add an alt tag. An alt tag is basically letting screen readers know what is in the image, and this is basically for visually impaired people. The reason why accessibility is important, guys, accessibility is for visually impaired people. And why it's important is because it's very relative to your SEO score. So your higher your accessibility score, it will definitely boost your SEO score as well. This also is very important for the heading structure. Remember the headings map Chrome extension that I did tell you about? This will basically tell screen readers what your blog post does consist of. So the visually impaired people can actually go through your headings before actually reading to make a choice of whether or not they want to stick on your blog post. So guys, that is it. That is all it is to writing a blog post. There's obviously quite a bit more than it. If you did enjoy this and found it of value, please like this button. Leave me a comment in the description. Let me know what you thought of the video. It's just basically a skeleton overview of my process of creating a blog post. And please subscribe if you would like future videos or if this is something of interest to you. The Google Analytics video, I will leave a link to that in my description to show you how to link your WordPress website to Google Analytics. Guys, until next time, and thank you so much for watching.